The global food shortages, the collapsing supply chains. We warned you about the climate crisis, and now you reap what you have sown. But there is still hope. Thanks again to science, we have a solution. Insects, a sustainable, equitable, and nutritious source of protein for a fraction of the carbon footprint of livestock. We can finally put an end to the wasteful and cruel practice of meat eating for good. So let's turn this crisis into an opportunity to bring equality to our food systems, to mandate social and cultural change. Be a net zero hero. Eat the bugs.
And cut.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's what they're calling for. And with inflation now, you're probably going to have to eat those bugs sooner than later. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski here of WeAreChange.org. And man, oh man, are things getting crazy out there. This as we have more shocking footage from Texas that was just leaked to the general public. You won't believe the mayor's response to all of this. There's, of course, record inflation, economic calamity, which is being done deliberately against you. As of course, the larger financial consequences are still headed our way. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee, not the children, as there are some very important issues to get into, especially when it comes to the larger financial picture that we've been warning about for over a number of years now. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all on this independent media broadcast. But before we do, the small clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is by the extremely talented Leonardo of Biz. I definitely recommend you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel. We're going to link it along with the full video down in the description below, and his latest mashup of You Will Eat the Bugs satirical PSA is definitely right on the money. He did incredible work. The full video is definitely worth a watch, and I think you should right after watching this video. And his satirical propaganda is almost the same kind of propaganda that you're used to seeing on the corporate media, which is why, according to Axios, we're getting a new report that news engagement has plummeted as Americans are tuning out to a lot of the propaganda, disinformation, and psychological warfare that is being waged against them by the special interests, by the powerful people in this country that are using the corporate media as their own personal PR sales representatives. This as we're finding out that it's not just cable news, that it's not just apps, but also websites and social media interactions that are down by and large, mainly because, the news isn't the news anymore. It's a lot of people expressing political ideas that they want to shove down your throat at all costs. There's very little intellectual honesty, very little actual honest conversations, very little breaking out of the contrived political party lines, as of course political ideologies trump virtues, which we absolutely do not stand for. Our channel doing better than ever, especially when it comes to the views, especially when it comes to the members of LukeUncensored.com. And that's probably because we are willing to criticize anyone and everyone, especially if they are in authority, especially if they are corrupted, especially if they do some wrong. I don't care who they are, what their political representative is. We will criticize Donald Trump just like we have Joe Biden. We will criticize the woke LGBTQ plus LY, whatever you could make up other acronyms. And yes, we will also criticize the police department, just like we have heavily criticized the local Texas police department that sat on their hands while aiding and abetting an accomplice that went on a rampage and ended the life of 24 individuals, 19 children, just a few days ago in Uvalde, Texas. Why am I talking about this? Because just now, after many weeks, we're finally getting the video of what actually happened inside of that school as the video was leaked. And this video is infuriating. We, of course, are not going to be showing it here on this family-friendly broadcast, but just let me tell you, it is absolutely frustrating. It is absolutely bewildering to watch police officers sit on their phone with a Punisher background, just aimlessly looking at it, washing their hands constantly with sanitizers as they stand down for 77 minutes, as they had an ability to stop this lunatic, and they decided not to. Then they stepped back, restrained a father whose daughter was lost on that day, restrained other parents outside, preventing them from walking inside of that classroom, while they locked down the situation and allowed the shooter to continue his horrible actions on that day. And there was 19 police officers. They had shields that would have protected them from any bullets. They had superior weaponry. They had training just days before this in that particular school for this particular event. And yet they still tell us that on that particular day, the police chief forgot that he was the police chief, and then on purpose deliberately got rid of his 2 police radios, which he still hasn't explained why he's done that. He still hasn't explained why they stood down. There's still no official explanation to what actually was going on here. And now we're seeing this video footage of police officers failing to act and creating a situation that led to more loss of life that could have been prevented if they would have just acted. The video that was released, by the way, was also edited to make sure the children screaming was removed from the audio. And throughout all of this, the police officers, the city, the government there that has poured hundreds of thousands of dollars for training, for equipment, for this police department, not only failed the people here, but aided and abetted in the ending of innocent life loss. And the mayor of Uvalde has the gall to come out and attack the media throughout all of this, which I think is ridiculous. The mayor of this town, Don McLaughlin, came out and said that what the media did here was, quote, one of the most chicken things I've ever seen. Now, I think those comments should definitely be reserved for the police here, not for the media that's helping people understand what actually happened here. Since, of course, the police officers lied through their teeth. The authorities and politicians have lied about what actually happened here. We're now only seeing edited video footage. This as the family members that lost loved ones are calling him an individual who's a part of a cover-up here. And with his disdain towards the media for telling people what's going on here, instead of, the police officers that aided and abetted this crime as they were on their cell phones, as they were washing their hands, as they were preventing people from stopping this incident. Yeah, they're the ones at fault here. They're the ones that have acted like utter criminals here that deserve to be called out. Now, what happened in Texas should be a learning lesson to every individual out there, as of course for many years we keep talking about how police departments do not have a duty to protect and serve anyone except, of course, their higher command. Higher command that, of course, is tied into politics, and that's exactly what we've seen happen in major urban cities all throughout the United States, where crime has soared. Criminals have been released on the streets, and people have been prosecuted on their political ideologies rather than, of course, the victims that they have committed. And now we're reaching a point where, for many corporations, business is unsustainable because of the massive rise in crime that is being aided and abetted by the Democratic political party. Look what's happening in New York City. Look what's happening in San Francisco. Look what's happening in Chicago. Absolute lawlessness that is being approved of, that is being supported by insane woke politicians that are supported by billionaires that are changing how this country is being run. Starbucks, just by the way, announced that they're permanently closing 16 of its store locations, all of them in woke cities across the United States, places like Seattle, Los Angeles, Portland, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C., as of course there's many documented incidences of their staff being accosted by customers who are high on drugs. Why is there such lawlessness? Why is there such criminality? Well, that's a very complex answer that I could give you in many different forms, but I think it's fair to say that whatever is there now is only going to get a lot worse, especially with the latest inflation numbers, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. But before we do, there's also a lot of other shocking news breaking right now that, of course, we cannot talk about on this broadcast. By the way, Monsanto's Roundup weed killer is being found in 80% of U.S. urine samples. Dr. Fauci came out of hiding recently, and there's a shocking development from Dr. Peter McCullough. what is going on here, we could only discuss on LukeUncensored.com. I hope you guys join us for a more serious conversation for yet another exclusive, unfiltered, uncensored video right after this one, which you could watch right now on LukeUncensored.com. Click the link down in the description below and sign up to our own platform, our own members area, our own quasi-secret society that, of course, has many different amenities available to you, a forum, merchandise at cost only available to you, 3 masterclasses, and the forum is being more active than ever. I am going to be doing an AMA there. Ask me anything. I will be answering all of your questions. So if you are a member, if you want to ask me something that I will directly answer to, send me a message right now on the forum. We're going to be making a post right now as we're speaking. Might as well just do it right now. Okay, there we go. Ask me anything right now, specifically on the forum, and I'm going to be making a separate video only for members, yet another video specifically answering your questions. I just made the forum post right now, and if you have any questions, you want to get involved, get activated in the very active forum that we have, sign up to LukeUncensored.com right now. I look forward towards communicating with all of you guys one-on-one. Now, back to that inflation, which I think everyone should definitely be worrying about. Everyone should be making personal decisions in their own lives to prepare for, as of course, a lot of people are shocked or surprised. 9.1% official inflation numbers. Those numbers are a lot higher from the unofficial numbers, by the way. But people are like, wow, who would have seen this coming? A lot of people are like, oh, wow, I didn't see it going that high. And I'm like, you weren't paying attention. As of course, we were telling people specifically on this broadcast in the beginning of this entire saga to look out for the larger financial consequences. You could go back on this channel 2.5 years ago specifically saying, hey, up ahead, there's going to be some serious economic consequences. We're dealing with them, and this is not going to be the end of it. It's not going to stop at 9.1%. That number is going to go up a lot higher, mainly because we are going through the Great Reset, mainly because to build back better, you have to destroy the old, you have to destroy the cost of living, you have to destroy energy, you have to destroy food production, and that's exactly what a lot of people in the establishment are currently doing, undermining you, your wealth, your future, and your personal well-being by literally hedging the largest tax on you that is called inflation. Again, the Biden administration, literally, the establishment just put an old guy there to take the blame for all of this that's not even there. They're trying to blame all of this on incompetence when, of course, it's central bankers knowing that they're printing all of that money, pressing those zeros on that keyboard. The fat cat bureaucrats that never leave politics no matter who is president, the shadowy deep state, they're the ones implementing the policies that are shooting the American energy sector in the foot. There's farmers being told not to farm. There's larger food insecurity coming our way. And when you're listening to the Biden administration, you have to understand you're mainly listening to an empty suit. Someone who's not there, who's going to be the fall guy for all of this. As of course, even the figures that he's talking about when specifically dealing with this issue are old, out-of-date figures that don't reflect our current reality. Again, this is the highest the official inflation numbers have been for over 40 years. And this is, again, just the beginning. Gasoline prices up 60%, airfare 34%, foods as high as 15%. Again, what you're seeing is financial calamity that's going to hurt the poorest people amongst us. With this news, of course, expect stocks not to perform well. The Dow, of course, fell as we are only entering the chaos, the storm ahead of us. Now, it is fair to say that whatever Joe did here only exacerbated the current problem, but this was a problem brewing for a very long time, especially with many presidents just printing money out of thin air and spending money that they never had. We never balanced a checkbook. We were never responsible with our financial responsibilities. And of course, there's going to be a major pushback against the Biden administration that is focusing on woke policies, that is focusing on hurting the American energy sector even more, that is focusing on sending more money to foreign countries like Ukraine, where now there are javelins on the black market in Europe because of. Yes, you're seeing right now footage from an Albanian car with Albanian car plates loaded with American anti-tank weapons and missile defense systems, offensive systems that, of course, are hitting the black market all throughout Europe, according to the sources that I am close to who have insider information on the ground about what's really happening there. Again, billions of dollars sent to Ukraine, more high-tech weaponry on the black market. This, as corporations think of more sneaky ways of price gouging you with service charges, convenience charges, and of course microtransactions that are only going to get a lot more predatory and worse from here. This is the beginning. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, the worst is now and it's going to go. No, you're not paying attention if that's the case here, because everything that's added to this larger fire, all the fuel added to this fire is not being stopped. It's only being increased, and with that increase, you could expect more chaos and calamity. Again, the Biden administration is deliberately, there's no other way to say it, there's overwhelming circumstantial evidence highlighting how the Biden administration is deliberately destroying the U.S. economy, as of course it's cheering on that transition towards green energy, which by the way, if you haven't known yet, is just a larger Ponzi scheme, according to my own personal opinion, according to my own personal perspective. This is just how I see it from all the research that I've done. If you think I'm wrong in any way, shape, or form, let me know why down in the comment section below. I always appreciate a different perspective. I always appreciate being able to see things from a different point of view. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I got one more video coming your way on lukeuncensored.com. This is why I am here. And because you're here, this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for a lot more here on wearechange.org.